Mortgage rates hitting yet another record low. I mean, you know what's going to be an alert, folks, when they don't? Can you believe this? The average for a 30-year fixed mortgage is now at 4.32%. You know, when my wife and I got our first mortgage, that's what we were paying per day. Anyway, that is the 10th drop we've seen in 11 weeks. It is the lowest since Freddie Mac began tracking rates back in 1971. Wow. Meanwhile, to Delaware, where another battle with a Tea Party candidate is heating up. Republican Christine O'Donnell taking on Representative Mike Castle in the GOP primary for the state Senate seat. That battle is set for September 14th. Christine O'Donnell joining me now. Now, we did reach out to Ms. O'Donnell's opponent, Congressman Castle. His folks are looking to see what date works best for his schedule, hopefully soon. Very good to have you, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for having me, Neil.
You know, it was sort of like you became like an overnight emerging force, and I don't know whether it had to do with what was going on, you know, in Alaska, but bottom line, the Tea Party saw something in you, galvanized its efforts,
right,
and away we go. What happened?
Well, I think three things happened. Number one, because this is a special election for the seat once held by Joe Biden, there's a spotlight on this race because the winner can be sworn in the day after Election Day and serving in Harry Reid's lame duck session where bills like cap and trade could come up. My Republican opponent, Mike Castle, is a big supporter of cap and trade. My Democrat opponent also is a supporter of cap and trade. Nobody wants this bill. So in this race, I am the only candidate who has pledged to not only vote against it, but advocate against it. So people are looking at this as perhaps me being that filibuster vote. Number two, I think the other thing that happened is polling started showing that Castle and I are very close. And we don't have a multi-million-dollar war chest like Mike Castle does. I am not a personal multi-millionaire who can self-finance the campaign. So it's a reflection of the people we have behind us.
No doubt. I'm sure. And there's no doubt about that energy. But,
right,
you know, you're a relative unknown. And when you're a relative unknown, people start kicking the tires and saying, well, what is this woman about? And then the dirt starts coming out. And I'm sure you're familiar with it, that you owe back taxes, that you had a home foreclosed on, that you never received a diploma because you didn't pay your tuition. Yeah. Any of that true?
Right. None of that. No. We've addressed that on our website, Christine2010.com.
No, I don't have time to go. No, I don't have time to go to your website. Do you owe back taxes?
No, I don't owe back taxes.
Did you ever foreclose on a home?
No. I sold my home.
Right,
I was the endorsed Republican candidate in 2008.
So you didn't. Two out of three didn't happen.
No.
So you didn't receive a diploma because you couldn't pay your tuition. Is that true?
Well, yes and no. It took me 12 years to pay off my student loans. When I did the cap and gown ceremony in 1993, I got handed a leather portfolio, but inside was a bursar's bill. I mean, most people don't have trust funds that pay for their education. I'm not a multimillionaire, and neither are most of the voters in Delaware. And for Mike Castle to say that because I didn't have a trust fund to pay for my college education disqualifies me to serve in the U.S. Senate is frankly an elitist mentality that most voters are sick of.
All right. Well, it's out there. You responded to it. The invite goes to your opponent as well. Hopefully we'll get him on. Thank you, Ms. O'Donnell. Very good having you.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile,